Oh, so this is the second live Plan With Me session. I loved doing this last month, and we're going to be following a similar format. So if you watched along last month, you'll recognize some of the questions that I'm going to be asking, but each month I'm going to be adding in new elements, new questions, because I massively believe that you have so much already within you, inside of you, but how often are we stopping to allow ourselves to ask the questions, to delve into what the answers that we already have inside of us are? And I'm actually coming on Instagram live too, and I'm on here, on Facebook, on YouTube. I think that's it. I'm going all in with the tech. I'm like, I am going to be everywhere. So whether you are new here or you have done some of the goal setting work with me, this is your opportunity to just take a breath, to allow yourself to reflect, to take a look back, to review, and also to have that reset, because we're go, go, go all of the freaking time. And that's when we feel like we're spinning our wheels. That's when we feel massively overwhelmed. So I want you, whether you've got the space now to follow this through with me, or you can always come back and there's going to be a recording at the end. So I'm going to be walking you through my goal setting system and the use of the Get It Together live planner. So I've just got a few out because you can get a free copy of this. This is just a ring binder folder, but in here are the printed off pages of the Get It Together live planner, and you can absolutely use this. This is absolutely free, that anybody can get their hands on. You, if you want it, if you don't already have it, if you are new here and you're like, hey, I want this, put in the comments now, send me the planner, and I will send you this free version. If you are like, I'm here to plan right now and I don't have any of this stuff, you can absolutely use just a pen and paper, keep it plain and simple, and then you can transfer it over to your planner at a later date. And then for those, or if you haven't already, or if you did want to upgrade, this is what the hard copies look like. So this is your 90-day version. Kerry, you should have yours come through today. I've just got a notification to say that it's been delivered. So this is the 90-day hard copy, and then this is the year-long hard copy that is like this. This is a big one. This is for someone who likes to have this on their desk, as I do. This is what I come to every single morning. If you're the type of person who wants to have it on hand, the 90-day version is great. However, yeah, you can buy these. This one, the big one's $24.99. This is $12.99. This baby is free, and you can just get yourself a pretty. I loved that. I used this format for a really long time, so I just have this planner, this folder that just says, I'm so very organized. Because I am, right? I'm totally organized. So we're looking back at the month that's passed. Like, if you were to just stop and just ask yourself, like, if you were to give February a theme, what would that theme have been? How would it have felt for you? How did you feel in your mindset? How did you feel with sticking to your habits and to your routines that you know that you help you? I think we've got more here on Instagram today. So do say hello in the comments. I'd like to know who is there, who I am talking to, and also ask any questions along the way. I'll try and keep my flow going because I'm very conscious that I want to value your time that you're spending here with me today. But I want this to also be effective with you. So those who have got the time can hang about for the end when I'll come back in and answer any questions that have been posted. So I'm going to run through it so this can be super effective for you, so that you can get out of your head, you can get your ideas and plans onto paper, but have a pen and paper ready if you are with me right now doing this live. So think about what that theme was for you. How do you feel with your progress? Because there's so often when we can do this reflection and review work where we can look back at the goals that we set ourselves for February and be like, oh, well, I didn't do that, and we can do this really glass half empty kind of mindset. And that's when we get into the habit of just being like, oh, well, I'm not going to bother, I'm just going to toss it all off. This is not working for me, this is not helping me. Rather than being able to dig into it and to contemplate, actually, what is this teaching you? What is this showing you? Which we're going to get into. So I want you to first off look at it from a glass half full approach. What were your wins from this month? And we always list these down. These wins can be really small, tiny things like I made sure that I drank enough water every day. I got outside for a walk every day. Little wins that you know that you've been able to recognize throughout the month that, like, yeah, I did that thing and it helped me to feel good. It helped me to feel better. I'm making progress on my goal. So just start to write those down. I've got my No Drama Llama mug with me. Always got to have a big mug of tea when we're writing this stuff down. And this is something that we do, or I certainly encourage my coaching clients. We do this on a daily basis where they come into the group and celebrate those wins on a daily basis, but definitely coming back at the end of the week, at the end of the month to do this reflection work. So what were the wins? What did you make moves forward with? What are you feeling good about? What are the things that made you smile? What made you smile in February? Because I know from speaking to so many different people that it's been a month that has been incredibly hard and felt it challenging. So allow yourself to ask yourself, when did I smile this month? When did I have a conversation with someone where I was just laughing out loud? Allow yourself to remember and recognize those good things that happen. So we come from this glass half full approach. Where did you take care of yourself this month? Because we had a huge focus in February on self-love and self-care. And I think that's certainly a big element that can be missed. But there's also those points where we're like, I don't want to take care of myself anymore. I want someone else to come and do it for me. And I get that too. And we're going to get into those. So write all of those down. Really take as many as you can to bullet point them. Whatever you need to do, get them down onto that paper. The next section within the planner, and this is all formatted for you in the planner. So if you don't have it, go and get the free copy. Make sure that you let me know in the notes if you want a copy and you haven't got it already. What were the challenges? What was the resistance? What felt hard? Because there are going to be those moments, and we don't, being positive and a positive person isn't about disregarding that they happen. It's being able to recognize that they happen and allow them to teach you, to show you a different way, to get you to ask internally, okay, what do I get to do differently? When you had these negative things or challenges or the resistance that showed up, how did you respond to that? Because we can respond both negatively and positively. There might be times when you go into your negative or default patterns that end up being like a sabotaging behavior. But then there's also me might be like, no, that really crappy thing happened and that triggered me. That brought something up within me, but I dealt with it in this way, in a more positive way. So it might be that the kids were driving you crazy and you managed to keep your calm. It might be that you felt super stressed out and you went to your go-to pattern of diving into the cupboards, or the opposite of that. Maybe you went and like, no, I've caught this and I know that I don't need to feed my emotions with food. So really recognizing what were those behavior patterns for you, because when we delve into this is heightening our how we know our routines and habits, and it's building a big thing that I really get my clients working on is having to be able to know, like, and trust yourself. And a lot of that comes from our habits and behaviors that we have within those challenges. And when we're faced with them, it's not never having the challenges show up, it is how you choose to respond for them. What did you do that felt difficult? What can you recognize that you need some more support with? An important one there is, like, when you recognize that you need some help with something, are you being able to ask yourself for that support? So just allow yourself that space to contemplate. When we are rushing through life and life feels overwhelming, we don't take this space to take stock of what it is that's showing for us. We just feel like it's constantly one thing after another, and you feel like you're taking one step forward and then 10 steps back because you're not learning these lessons or allowing yourself to say, what the heck is going on for me right now? What do I need to be doing differently? What do I need to change? Then after you've put all of that down onto paper, and I certainly within these, because you've got, I'll show you on the A4 size. It's going to look like that, and it has lines in on this version. On the new year-long planner, there's no lines in there. I still write really small within those lines because I want to get as much detail. I want to get out of my head and allow myself to express what I was feeling, express what I felt challenged by. And it's almost working through your problems within yourself. Like I say, everything you need is already within you. These questions that are in the planner and what I'm sharing with you today is designed to be your guide to help you pull that from within yourself already. Then we go into what are the lessons that you're taking from this month. So it might be something that it can be a positive lesson. So like I said, when you've used that habit or behavior that you noticed you had this challenging situation and you were able to have this positive outcome. So what is that teaching you? That's where we start to tap into our self-belief and our self-confidence, when we can pull these positive lessons out for ourselves. And it might be really tiny things, but when we reaffirm these time over time and again, then that's when we really start to notice the difference within that self-belief, self-confidence. And what I believe is that you shine in as the person that you know that you were always born to be. So pulling those tiny things. And if you see me, just those are coming on. If I'm looking like this, it's because I'm on two different screens. Look at what the lessons were. Allow them to sink in, especially those positive ones. Allow yourself to feel proud of being able to respond and to take that lesson, because when we find that the positives that we're learning, we can then double down on those. We can increase them and we can improve them. And that's when things start to snowball. When we're working on one goal, on one area in our life, when that starts to gain momentum, it folds and rolls over into the other areas also. So allow yourself to recognize those. How can you use that to continue to grow from these lessons? And then also looking at what were maybe the not so positive lessons, the lessons that you're like, oh, this didn't happen and I know that I need to do something differently, because that's where the growth happens. Like for me this month, when I was looking back at the goals that I set, and this is what we do when you're going into that review, I want you to look at what were the goals that you set yourself at the beginning of the year. And what were the goals that you set yourself at the beginning of this month? Because I was on track with some things, and then I'd set a goal for this month, and it was within my business. I had this new idea for this thing that I wanted to create. And then we're having half-term holidays and the kids were off for 2 weeks, and I just didn't get it done with being on top of everything else that was going on. I was feeling really positive about managing all of my business and not feeling like I was having to have mum guilt for like not being with the kids or not having the focus on my business. And so I felt like I kept it all together. However, this one thing didn't get done. So I could like totally beat myself up about it, which people often do when it comes to goal setting. That is certainly not what we are about here. We are about recognizing, okay, this didn't happen. It's feedback. It's just feedback. And what that is leading me to learn is that I can't keep doing everything myself. I have so much that I'm doing right now. I'm definitely at a stage where I need support. So what have I taken the action step on this? I'm speaking to someone this week who is going to be coming on board to help me with some of the things that I'm going to be setting up. So you can see, and that's very much within a business challenge that I face, but it could be the same within your fitness, within your relationship stuff, within your levels of happiness. Like, what are the lessons? We look at setting goals across all of the areas, because I believe that it's important to have this balanced life. If we really want to shine, we want to have all of these areas in flow, feeling good, keeping it all together. So when you've started to look at these negative lessons or the not so positive lessons, like what is it teaching you? There's no such thing actually as a negative lesson. It isn't. They're all there to teach, to guide you. You know, this is part of personal growth, personal development. We look at the things that aren't really working in our favor and we'll ask ourselves, what can we do about that? So within mine, I obviously are looking where I need to get support. Where could you be asking for more support within the goals that you set yourself? Is it within your family? Is it within your team at work? Is it within your kids? Often I have to turn around and ask my kids, like my husband's working away at the moment, so I'm on my own with my kids. And when they start playing up, I turn around to them and I say to them, kids, look, I want to create a happy, harmonious household. I do not want to spend my time shouting at you. I need your help with this. I need your support. We're in this together. We are a team. Yeah, it works when I have these conversations with my kids. Obviously, those type of conversations with kids you have to have over and over again. But whether it's you talking with your spouse, whether it's with a friend, whether you want to get a coach on board and get some more help and support, how can you support yourself that little bit more? Cool. So we've talked about checking in with the goals that we set for the beginning of the year and the beginning of the month. Allow yourself to say, where am I in relation to those? Am I on target? Because there's going to be times when you are. There's going to be times where you are. This is not about you getting all judgy on yourself and saying, oh, I'm so terrible because I've not done this. That's definitely not what it's about. This is not what it's for. That is not personal growth. That is just you being in a habit of beating yourself up about stuff. We get to move through that and recognize for what it is. This is feedback. And that's what we're taking it on board. So as we now start to collate all of this information, we've had a rundown, we've looked at what's been working, what's not been working, what is this teaching us, what is this guiding us to do differently. We now want to start to think about, what do we want for the month ahead? And when you're using the planner, the Get It Together planner, we work in a 90-day system. So of course, we're stepping into March. I'm definitely feeling the energy and the vibe of springtime. I've talked about this a few times on my stories and in lives that I've been doing. When you feel that vibe, that, you know, the sun's starting to shine. I'm looking outside, the sun's shining. It's got a bit cold here though, actually. But when we ride on that energy of renewal, it is also, we're coming towards the end of our first quarter. So when we're working in that 90-day block, I get to look back at what I set out for the beginning of the year on those 90 days, which is on this sheet. I'm just going to show you on your goal planner where we write it out. It has 30, 60 and 90 days. And then we put our end of year targets in here. Come back to this, have a look, see where you are at, because again, we talk about having this life of balance. There might be some areas where you're like, oh, this is going okay. I'm kind of ticking along. I've got my habits nailed down. It doesn't feel like such an effort. I've got these basics laid into place, which is ultimately what we want when we're working towards our goal. However, I've noticed that this area is not working as well, or I'm not making the progress that I want, or I know that I could be doing better. And maybe that one area gets to get your focus this month. So looking at that and being able to reflect. And I really just want you to take a moment. If you just do this with me right now, just close your eyes, take a deep breath, calm your body down, and just ask yourself, if I was to shine, like to really shine this month, and when I say shine, I mean that part within you that's already there, that's like wanting to burst out, like knowing that you are taking care of your health, you're working out, you're eating healthy foods, you know that you're connected within your relationships, you feel on track with your career. If all of these things within you, if you were shining like that, what would be the area that you get to focus on for this month? What would be the area that would help you the most? Maybe there's a couple. I generally work mainly with body and business on mine, because that's kind of like the focus that I work I know I can always be improving. Relationship type stuff I'm quite on with. I'm quite consistent with my self-development stuff because I'm always doing courses or learning something. So those are the ones that I generally want to push on. Think about what it is for you. Is it career? Is it maybe like your relationship's in a rough place and you're like, no, I need to take a little bit of time and space to connect with my partner or work on that element. So think about what those areas are for you. And come back to that feeling of calm. If you were to shine in that, what would you be doing with your body? How would you be eating? How would you be feeling in your career? Confident, dealing with demands, being able to place boundaries with work, with your time management. All of these different areas come into play. How are you in your relationships? Cool, calm. This is one that I often put in because it's usually around me trying to keep my cool when my kids push my buttons, because I'm sure any mother can be with me on that one. So think about all these different areas in your happiness. If you were to imagine, and I was actually talking about this with a friend the other day, and she turned around and said, she was just like, God, I know the world's in a mess and everything's up in the air, but my God, I feel so happy right now. Like, think about, when was the last time you ever felt like that? Have you had that moment when you thought, yeah, I've got great friends, I feel like career, and this actually is from a friend whose business has completely just been massive. She's in the tourist industry. Her business has been massively affected by everything that's been going on. So it really is that reminder that, the things that can be going on outside of us, when we come back to being centered in knowing who we are, knowing where our passions lie, what we're working towards, out of the other side of this, we will come out of the other end eventually, if we stayed aligned and true to ourselves. So having thought about all of those things that I've just brought into play right now, if you were to ask yourself, what 4 things could you set to do for yourself this month, what would they be? What would those things be? Yes, Sarah, I will definitely come into the Shine Squad after this and answer your question on this. Definitely, if you need some help with it, take your picture of it, share it in the group. So what are the 4 things that are going to help you move closer towards your goal and your dream life vision? And if you've never done the dream life meditation, definitely go and do that afterwards. It's a great one to revisit. I love to revisit it at the beginning of the month, because every time I come and do it, something different comes up. I align with different things, and it's those things that keep on coming up time and time again. Those are the ones that you want to connect to and grab onto. So set your 4 things. You're going to write them down in your planner. I'm going to show you again. There is space where you write these 4 things down. You write them down at the top. Like I said, if you have not already got a copy of this and you want it, just put in the comments, send me the planner, and I will send it to you. This is completely free. You can get yourself a nice pretty folder and just keep all of this in place. And this can be, you can come and join me every single month, and we are going to repeat this process, because there's so often where people are like, you're looking for the next shiny thing and want to go and do this, this, and this. Like, no, just bring it back to the basics. You know what you need to do. It's already there within you. Here is the process where we get to pull that out. So write those 4 things down, and then answer or consider the questions. Why is this important to you? Why do you give a shit? Why do you care? What is this going to mean for your life? And that can, not everything has to be massively transformational. So, some things are just be like, you know what, if I actually achieve that thing, it's going to bring me a feeling of peace and freedom within my soul. It is going to make my life feel better. And this is not about hanging your happiness just on the goal. A big part of this is being able to come in love with the process, with the little things that you do day on day. What is it going to mean to you? What are the consequences of you achieving this? Also, what are the consequences of you not achieving this? If you stay where you are right now, if you feel like your light is being dimmed, if you are constantly feeling overwhelmed, if you find yourself overwhelmed, but yet you're still procrastinating on the things that you want to do, we've all been there, and I still do it from time to time. But this is the work that helps to drive me and kick me into motivation. This is what helps me to be inspired. And it's not just going with that, oh, why do I want this thing? Because it'd be quite nice. Like, no, why does it matter to you? Because the deeper you go and the more importance and relevance that you put on that goal, the more it's going to help to inspire you. And not only just about you, take it away from yourself. Who else in your life is this going to help? If you achieve this, how is this going to make other people's lives better? Where are you in relation right now to what it is that you want to achieve? What's the gap? What is it that you're not already doing? What's stopping you from having it right now? Then list that out as well, because that's going to help you to start to pull out the action steps that you're going to want to take as you start to now cultivate your plan. Because we get the goal down, but we get to also break it down into bite size and actionable steps. And I always love, I might have mentioned it on the last live if you were here, and it's not about looking at the whole staircase. So your end of year goal, that's the whole staircase. And you can be like, holy heck, how is that even going to happen? We break that down. It's just the first flight of stairs is in the month. And then your action steps become that first step. So what are the action steps going to be? Break it down into very small things. So if you've got a goal that you want to maybe drop a dress size, maybe you'd like to release a few pounds so that you feel better in your body. So what are the action steps that are going to help you towards that? The action steps would be hydration. They would be movement. They would be improving your sleep and your stress. They are little, well, they're quite big ones actually, but little steps would be, I'm going to drink 2 liters of water. I'm going to work out 3 times per week. I'm going to make sure I get 8 hours of sleep. More specific action steps. If you are working on your relationship, you might be like, we're going to have some screen-free time as a family. We're going to have a date night with my partner. I'm going to have one-on-one time with one of my children. Yeah, these are the little action steps that you can't even speak, then get to put down in your monthly planner. So we have the planner that we can break down month on month. So we can write in what you might have with a specific focus for 1 week. You get to break it down. And this is really where I work more with my coaching clients within the Shine Squad, as we help to break that down further, help to have the action steps that come week on week, because it is the little steps that compound into the big goal, into the full entire staircase, and into feeling like you're shining beauties, feeling like you are at your happiest, where you are feeling on form, you're feeling like a badass, you are moving towards your goals, and you feel in alignment with the vision that you have created. Put those steps out into the planner across the month, and then you get to show up on a daily basis, taking and ticking them off one little piece at a time. So I'd really love for you to take that feeling that we talked about. If you were to shine in March, in this month, to feel good, to feel focused, to feel clear, to feel happy, what would that look like? And what would be the 4 steps, 4 things that you could give to yourself this month that would help you feel in alignment with that? So I'm going to wrap it up because I realize I have been talking for a little while. If anybody's watching on the replay and you've got questions, you've got things that you want to delve in further, put them down in the comments and I will come back to them. But most of all, I hope that you just go and set these goals and intentions. Like, we hear a lot about goal setting, but there is science-based research that backs the fact that people who write down their goals, who break them down, these people are happier, they are more successful, they feel more fulfilled. Fulfillment, happiness kind of links in together. We build on our self-confidence, and I talked a lot about that belief and confidence in yourself. If you want to believe in yourself more, if you want to improve your self-confidence, you've kind of got to prove to yourself that you can do these things, and being able to track, to pull out those wins are the little steps in starting towards that. And remember, if you are feeling challenged by something, ask the question, where can you get the support? I'd love to see you guys doing this. I would love to see you putting your plans down onto paper if you are using the planner. I love nothing more than seeing you guys using it over social media. If you want the free version, let me know. If you want to grab the hard copies, either the 90-day or the year-long one, these are available on Amazon, and I will put the links down below if you want to get your hands on one of those. They do have, like, I bang on about these so much because they literally have transformed my life from feeling just worked out, stressed out, overwhelmed, and not getting anywhere fast, to being able to feel motivated, fired up, in flow, and a lot less stressed in the process. So I'm going to wrap up this month's session. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to be coming in. I'm going to keep it as close to the first Monday, either just before the end of the month or just in, depending on what day it falls. I've not even checked to see what day it falls on next month. Anyway, it's probably Tuesday, isn't it? So I'll probably do it on the Monday at the end of March next month. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing about your wins, and most of all, I love hearing about your goals. So share with me your goals and what you are focused on for this month. But most of all, believe in yourself, beauty. You can do this. Take those little steps, take those little action nuggets, and go after it. You can do this. I'm going to sign off. Over and out. See you later.